Welcome back. I hope all is well. Today we're going to talk about how to create a cash pay private practice. Now this is a question I'm often asked, and I realize there's a lot of misconceptions about this topic as well as some confusion. So today I'm going to clear all that up for you, and I'm going to share with you a few ways in which you can go about creating a cash pay practice. And I promise at least one of these that we're going to talk about today is something you've never heard about and something that I think could be a real game changer for creating a cash pay practice. But before we do, So before we talk about how to create a cash pay practice, let's clear up some confusion. Now, a lot of people think that if they become cash pay, they are free to practice however they want. Now, this is partially true. You are definitely more free to practice as a cash pay therapist than you are if you're taking insurance. Now, for example, insurance companies dictate how long a session needs to be for certain reimbursement rates, right? So if you only see a client for, and this is hypothetical, for 12 minutes, but the insurance company counts a session to be 15 minutes or more, you won't get reimbursed. So in that way, you're really under the scrutiny of the insurance company and their guidelines to determine how long a session is. And if you become cash pay, you're no longer under guidelines like that. You can see a client for as long as you want or as short as you want. That being said though, you're not completely free. If you're cash pay, you still follow all the rules and guidelines set by your profession, the licensing board, the state laws, and this is a good deal of laws and regulations that you still have to follow. So one misconception is that as a virtual therapist, if you become cash pay, people think that they can see clients that are located wherever they want. But this is not an insurance issue. This is a legal issue and a licensing board issue. So even if you're cash pay and you don't take insurance, you still need to follow the laws that indicate where a client must be located in order for you to have a session with them. So being cash pay has no bearing on that at all. So don't get confused and think that if I'm cash pay, I don't follow any rules or regulations, I can practice however I want, no documentation, it's a free-for-all. Definitely not the case. There are still so many guidelines, ethics, and all that kind of stuff that you have to uphold. So be very cautious about that. Now, another misconception is that creating a cash pay practice is simple, when in fact it's actually quite difficult and takes a lot of time. We're gonna dive more into this towards the end of the video, but just know, creating a cash pay practice is in no way simple. And then I also wanted to say that becoming a cash pay practice is a personal choice. There is a whole bunch of different reasons for why someone might want to be a cash pay practice that doesn't just indicate they want to make more money. Now, with that being said, I do think that every therapist needs to know how to at least operate a cash pay practice, even if they choose to take insurance. That's kind of how I operate. I take insurance, but I also know how to operate a cash pay practice. Now, why is that important? Well, that's important because I don't take everyone's insurance. So sometimes a client comes to me and they have an insurance that I don't accept. And at that point, we need to learn, well, how does my cash pay practice work in that regard? Or how do we deal with that, right? And so one thing we're gonna talk about today is how to help a client get out of network benefits when they see you at a cash rate. And when someone uses out of network benefits, the way that typically works is that they would pay your cash rate, you give them some documentation that they can bring to their insurance company, and then they can get reimbursed. Now, this has traditionally been a very tedious process. However, I recently came across this brand new company that I think is gonna be a total game changer, and we're gonna talk about them right now. So one way to begin creating a cash pay practice is by making it easy for a client to use out-of-network benefits. I recently came across this company called Thrizer, and they are sponsoring today's video. But regardless of that, I think that they're gonna be a huge game changer for therapists and clients. Thrizer will provide end-to-end support for all of your clients to ensure that they get reimbursed for their out-of-network therapy services. They will handle all of the claims, all of the paperwork, and they'll ensure that any delays or issues that come up are resolved and dealt with. And the best part is, it is completely free for you as the therapist and for the client. I mean, that is insane. A free service that will allow you to keep a cash pay rate while also ensuring that a client can get reimbursed with their out-of-network benefits, that is a win-win. And that will sound so much better for a client, right? Oh, I'm really sorry, I don't take that insurance. However, I work with Thrizer, it's completely free, and they will provide you support to use your out-of-network benefits. I mean, That's amazing, right? So I would encourage you to sign up for Thrizer. It is completely free. You can use code Matthew Ryan LCSW to get 2 weeks of no credit card processing fees at all, which means you will get 100% of your cash pay rate. So yeah, I think Thrizer is going to be a game changer for therapists looking to build a cash pay practice while also ensuring that their clients receive the best services possible. It's going to be a huge tool in your private practice arsenal. Another way to begin building a cash pay practice is by establishing a specialty, or what others call a niche. This would basically be an area of focus that you are an expert in. So let's say there's people who have a fear of green plants and they need a therapist. If you are the only one who provides that service, or a handful of a few people who provides that specialty care, well then yes, of course, people are going to be willing to pay out of pocket to see you, right? And that's because you are a specialist. However, if you are just a general practitioner and you're trying to go cash pay, it's a lot harder because you're in a sea of thousands and tens of thousands of other therapists that people can choose from. So then why would someone pay cash pay to see you or use their insurance to see someone else? It's really kind of a hard decision, right? So you need something that's going to help you stand apart, something that you specialize in. And this is where a niche comes in. If you can find a niche or a specialty that you're interested in and one that isn't so overpopulated, you're going to have a much better chance of creating a cash pay practice if this is something you want to do. So then how do you build a niche? Well, you build a niche by trainings and learning and education. You find an area that you really want to focus in on and you learn all about it. You get the right training and all that kind of stuff. And then you become an expert, right? And once you're an expert, then you can begin to market yourself that way. You are the expert on people who fear green plants and they need to come see you because you're really going to help them, right? That's going to make it much easier to begin building a cash pay practice. And finally, building a cash pay practice requires patience. It takes time. You don't just start a private practice and become cash pay. You need to build up your reputation with the clients that you serve, right? Why should they pay you a cash rate? Are you providing good services? I'm sure you are, but you need to prove that. You need to do that for a consistent period of time. And then it becomes much more easy to set a cash rate because you are a good therapist and you've shown that over a long period of time. So just be patient. Also, it takes time to build a specialty. You need to invest in training. You need to invest in education. You need to become a specialist and find that niche. Naturally, this also takes time. So I just want to encourage you to be patient if you're trying to build a cash pay practice. It's not easy. It is not simple. It takes training, education, time. It takes a lot of work. Now, with some patience and hard work, I do think you can do it if this is something you choose to do. And finally, I just wanted to say that operating a cash pay practice is not for everyone. Some people want to offer affordable care to those in their communities. Other people want to have sliding scales. Other people want to take insurance. However you want to practice, it's totally up to you. This video is made today for those who are interested in a cash pay practice if this is something they choose to do. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Hopefully you learned something. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you soon.